The difference between justification and necessity is motivation. So hear me out on this. If your motivation is to seek retribution, then whatever you do in retribution is justified. And I'm not even going to argue that if someone was harmed, that equal harm being committed to the other person is unjustified. In fact, I would argue that that's karmically relevant. Is it helping us actually further our cause? Is it helping us achieve our goals? More often than not, it's not, because the ego gets in the way. It's operating very much from the lower half of the brain, the more primal, egoic, animal part of the brain. One of the biggest aha moments for me in therapy was realizing that because I had the right to feel something did not mean that I had to exercise that right. And more often than not, choosing to not exercise that right or allowing that feeling to pass through me and then processing it and letting it go was enough for me to say, okay, take a deep breath. And how do I get out of this situation? How do I resolve this issue from coming back again? Because when you pull the weed, like you pull the head off the weed, the root ball still exists and it will grow back. But when you get down to the root of it and you pull the root out, it goes away. Now, this is not to say that there won't be another weed that sprouts up somewhere else. This doesn't solve all your problems. It just solves this one problem right here. But that's the point, is that we keep treating the symptom and not the root. And we keep addressing the immediate harm, but not the long-term pattern. And that's where the real change is going to happen. The long-term change is going to happen when the person who is operating at a higher level of consciousness is able to take a look around. High-level overview, zoom out and say, whoa, the assessment of this situation is different than we both, either one of us respectively sees. There is some third truth of this moment here. And the other person might not have the language for that, and they might not even know how they're feeling. 85% of the population is woefully self-unaware. They don't have self-awareness. Roughly 15% of the population has self-awareness. Most people are operating from a deeply subconscious place. Most people have no idea that they're even externalizing their own shit. Like the level of suppression inside of the average American, specifically anyone with right-leaning ideology, these people are trained to not think. They are trained to not go within, which is so insane. I want to resolve issues. I want out. I want the culture to change. So we're going to have to develop new strategies and understand that while we have the right to be upset, if you are marginalized, yes, your life is actively in danger in this country to varying degrees. That is correct. And you do have the right to self-preservation and the right to protect yourself. However, if we want out of this, our numbers are large enough and we can do it, but we have to make it work in a way that works for everybody. I'm not saying we concede. I'm not saying that we abandon ourselves in favor of peace and prosperity for all people. I'm saying that there are ways for us to approach this that make sense for both parties, and we haven't figured it out yet. There's a shared language in here somewhere, and we can find it, and it's in our best interest to do so. Not for the benefit of those people, but for the benefit of us and us as a species and the future of this planet.